Alrighty, what's up everybody, Peter Gilmore here, once again for another video, this time on the Peter Gilmore YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you all, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button down below, and subscribe to all my other channels as well, down below in the description box, and follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. That's all you gotta do. If you can't do that, well, you need help. Alright, on this late Wednesday night, April the 1st, 2020. April Fool's Day, as I said before. So hopefully you had a good Wednesday, and if not, well, sorry. If you got pranked, well, sorry to be you. Sucks to be you too. But it is what it is. Alright, another day, another day closer to hopefully ending this fucking virus. As of right now, we got just under 4 weeks away from hopefully this isolation being over. Still losing a lot of people here in the United States, and this week and next week are really the biggest weeks, because we could see the apex of this fucking virus happen here in the Northeast and in California and other places, or we could see the flattening of the curve. We hope that's the case. But we'll see what happens over the next coming days. We got Palm Sunday this Sunday. We got Easter next Sunday, and hopefully by the end of this month, we can start getting back to normal slowly. It might take another month and a half, but we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully by the end of this month, or by June 1st, we'll be back up and running. And in major cities like New York City and Los Angeles and Chicago and Florida, all the places that are right now locked down, Virginia. But we'll see what happens with that as we get closer and closer to April 30th. But only 4 weeks away. So 4 weeks from tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be on our road to recovery. But if not, we got a long way to go. We'll see what happens. All right, in the description box below is my Raw review on the Killer Demons channel. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And yeah, I still gotta get this thing fixed. I'm about to break it. So hopefully hopefully it's gonna change this fucking thing. It's annoying, I know. So I can't open it. That's the problem. I can't open this fucking thing. I don't want to break it because then I'll have to buy another CO2 charger or whatever it's called. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, in the description box below is my Raw review. So check it out. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends all over the internet. And if you have any questions, put it down below in the comment section of this video. Or hit me up via Twitter. And my Twitter link, which is down below in the description box. And that's it. But right now, if you're watching this at home, or from somewhere else, it is time for your late night AEW Dynamite. I can't say it loud because she's sleeping. So it's time for your AEW Dynamite review for April the 1st, 2020, from an undisclosed location. Though a lot of people saying it's from Q2 Marshall's gym or Cody's gym, somewhere in Georgia or wherever QT Marshall lives, which I probably think somewhere in the South. They're in the South. Let's put it this way. They're probably in the South. But we'll see what happens from that, and then that's all I gotta say about that. So let's get to another episode of AEW. Another great show. Wasn't, extraordinarily great, but it was pretty good. So the one person that watched, get back here. I order you. That's all I gotta say about that. So it was a pretty decent show. It wasn't a great show, but still a good show. Even though, last week they won with 800 somewhat thousand views. NXT had a little over 600,000 views. It wasn't a demolishing victory, but they still won as always, and they're probably going to win this week too. I haven't watched NXT yet. I'm going to watch it tomorrow when I get up. So I'll do my NXT review tomorrow along with my WrestleMania predictions for the show, and then Saturday night when I get home from work, I'll do my night. I'm gonna do break it up. Night 1, night 2. Night 2, I'll probably have to work Monday night, Monday morning. So I might not be able to get a night 2 review up Monday. But if anything, it'll come Tuesday with your Raw review. So we got that. So stay tuned for that later on this weekend and this next week. All right, let's get to AEW, and we start the show off with them talking about the AEW TNT Championship Tournament, which is an 8-man tournament beginning next week. And the first matches for the tournament got announced, and they are Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears and Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. Now, in the second half of the bracket is Dustin Rhodes and Kip Sabian, and it'll also be Lance Archer and Colt Cabana. Can you say this ends in Cody Rhodes versus Lance Archer? I think you can. And I'm going to say right now, Lance Archer's winning this tournament and becoming the TNT champion and holding it for a while. But that's all I got to say about that. So that's the brackets, and we're going to see the matches next week and the week following and in the weeks to come. So we got that. So we'll see what happens with the tournament. And like I said, I think Lance Archer's going to win it, but you never know. Might be Cody. Who knows? Anyway, we start the show off with Tony Schiavone, Cody, and his dog Pharaoh. Welcome to the show from the undisclosed location. And we have Dasha Gonzalez doing the ring announcing. Is it the same Dasha from WWE? Because I remember Dasha in WWE, but I don't know if it's the same person. If it is, let me know. I believe it's the same Dasha, but I could be wrong. And that's pretty much it. So we have wrestlers in the crowd again. We have Kip Sabian, a couple of guys I didn't know who they were, probably some enhancement talent or indie stars. Then we later on we had Trent Beretta, Chucky T, and Orange Cassidy, and we also had Penelope Ford and Britt Baker in the audience. So that was pretty nice. So we start the show off with our first match of the night, a great match. Kenny Omega taking on Trent, all the best friends. We had Chucky T and Orange Cassidy at ringside. They didn't really do much. This was a phenomenal match. Well, not phenomenal, but it was a pretty good match. And these two brought it. And I'm surprised I don't think they did, but they should have fought in in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think they did at one point, maybe way back, but I kind of forget. And we get that. So anyway, we start off with them shaking hands, mutual respect and code of honor. And then they work in some counters, and then Kenny gets the advantage and grounds and pounds things. Trent escapes Kenny with a tackle. Trent then cuts him off with a running Meteora. Follows with some kicks. Kenny returns fire, works him over in the corner. Trent comes back with a double stomp. They go to the floor. Trent falls with a springboard moonsault. And he starts celebrating. He's like, yeah, great. Kenny falls with a tope con hilo onto all three of the best friends. So Kenny gets up and he's like, can I get a hug? And he's like, no. Fakes him out and they go back in. Hits the Couture Crusher for a near fall. Then a backbreaker, keeping things grounded. Hits another backbreaker for a near fall. Really working on Trent. Trent fires back and they go back and forth. Trent attacks the injured hand of Kenny, and he does this for a little while on the floor. And Kenny comes back, hits a German on the floor. Then he whips Trent to the barricade. Trent comes back, but Kenny power bombs him into the ring post. They go back in. Here's a fisherman's buster over the knee for a near fall. Kenny looks like, you can't escape. But Trent escapes into a DDT. Hits a sliding German after that. If we go to break, come back. They go back and forth. Trent hits a snap half and half suplex, but Kenny comes back only for Trent to counter into a power driver for a near fall. Then they go back and forth again. Kenny hits a snapdragon suplex, but Trent keeps fighting back. Hits a lariat. Kenny counters into a power bomb and then a V trigger as both men are down. And then they go to the apron. Trent fires back, but lays in some chops. Kenny counters a power driver. They work up top. Trent hits an avalanche German suplex. Then a running knee for a near fall. Kenny comes back with some knee strikes and then the V trigger. Then he finishes off Trent with a pretty good one-winged angel. And Kenny gets the win, and he has won 7 matches in a row. So this is the Kenny Omega that we seen back in New Japan Pro Wrestling when he was just on fire. So he's 7-0 right now in his last 7 matches. So I gotta shut this thing off. It's fucking annoying. I can't even shut it off. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear that, I can't do anything about it. So sue me. Don't. So we get that, and we're gonna move on from that. So a pretty, very good match. I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars, and told a pretty decent story, and it looked like they were about to have a draw, but that didn't happen. And Kenny went over, and that's pretty much it. And I kind of figured that Trent would put Kenny over anyway, since they're best friends in and out of the ring. So no pun intended with best friends in and out of the ring, but it is what it is. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So once again, 3.5 out of 5 stars for the match. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. All right, after that, we get some highlights of the Jericho Hardy storyline that's been going on. We saw from about a week ago, where Matt Hardy got into the ring and did the whole delete stuff with Jericho, and then Jericho getting put on his ass, and then him getting beat up by Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and then Cody and Kenny had to save him. So we saw that. So it was nice. All right, after that, we got a nice Hikaru Shida video package. If you want to look at that, that was pretty nice. So speaking of Hikaru Shida, she's in our next match, and she takes on Anna Jay. I have no idea who the hell this be. Toe-to-toe with Hikaru in about a 5-minute match. And it was a pretty decent match. It wasn't great. They lock up the beginning of the match, and they work the ropes. Anna Jay gets sassy with Hikaru Shida. She starts playing around. She likes dancing and stuff. She's like, fuck you, and hits a shoulder tackle. Jay counts into a dropkick and hits a knee strike. Shida cuts her off with a backbreaker, falls her with an apron knee strike. And then she goes out. She runs into Britt Baker, and they have a little bit of a disagreement. So that might play into some storylines coming up. And so was a strike. Shida beats the crap out of her with a big forearm shot. Jay comes back, hits a blockbuster for a near fall, and then an inside cradle for another near fall. Gets caught in the triangle, and she gets to the ropes. Shida falls with a suplex for a near fall, and then a knee strike falls after that. Then she picks her up, hits the Falcon Arrow, and nobody kicks out of that Falcon Arrow, and picks up the victory. Match is all right, so I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's all I got to say about that. And we're going to move on from there. And we move on. That's all I got to say about it. Pretty good match. And that's all I got to say about that for the women. Move on from there. All right, then we hear Tony and Cody talk about John Moxley's issue with the Inner Circle and his recent run-in with Jake Hager that we saw last week. Then we see a video package with Hager commenting on Mox being a fool, thinking he can compete with him. Mox said he's a miserable, pissed-off bastard, and while he's on top, he has a target on his back, and they want to take what belongs to him. He says Hager won't beat him. And then Jericho says the Inner Circle does things for themselves, while Moxley says he's a one-man army and he's going to defend his championship with his life. And that's pretty much it. So it was a pretty good video package, basically hyping up Hager and Moxley in a no-holds-barred empty arena match in 2 weeks for the AEW World Title. So pretty good. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And we'll see what happens in 2 weeks with Jake Hager and John Moxley. And it should be a good match, and we'll see what happens from that. That's all I got to say about that. All right, then we get Colt Cabana boring us half to death on commentary. And I'll get that. Before we get to our next match, we get Jake Rabbits cutting a promo on Lance Archer's debut. He says he's going to destroy his opponent. And he says Cody keeps playing games that doesn't make them happy. They don't play or gamble. They have an ace up their sleeve and hope Cody is smart enough to be afraid. He also says Brandy wears the pants in the family. Well, doesn't he mean wears the thong in their family? I mean, sorry, panties in their family. But it is what it is. So, good promo from Jake. Jake is a god on promo. He also did the trust me thing, and that was pretty nice. And really gave this promo some oomph. So I gave it a 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. And then we go to Lance Archer's debut squash match of the week. And he takes on that little scrub runt, Marco Stunt. And Marco, he put up a little bit of a fight, but not much. And Lance was just like laughing up a storm as Marco was trying to beat him up. Marco was fighting. He hit some drop kicks, and then he gets killed by the Pouts. Period. They go back in. Lance Archer hits the choke slam. Looks to be over, but he pulls up Marco at 2. And then he finishes off Marco with a blackout. And that's pretty much it. So Lance Archer gets his first win in AEW. Sorry about that. So he picks up his first win in AEW over a scrub and Marco Stunt, but there's probably going to be more credible wins coming in his future. And really showed Lance as a monster. Big man against the little runt. So we get that. So we'll see what happens with Lance Archer and Jake Rabbits coming up in the near future, and probably a showdown with Cody maybe in this TNT title tournament if the brackets go the way they should. But we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what happens. So I gave the match 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, Lance chokeslams Marco from the apron onto the Gun Club. I think there were the people in the audience, in the audience. So he basically kills Marco Stunt, and Marco was 22 years old. And that's all I gotta say about that. So thanks for coming, Marco Stunt. Go back to California where you belong. Go back to Jurassic Express where you belong. As a jobber. But I digress. And that's it. All right, after that, we get a video of the Dark Order. And presumably the Exalted One, Brody Lee, Luke Harper, whatever you want to call him. He meets up with some of his minions. No John Silver, no Alex Reynolds, no Stu Grayson, no Evil Uno. He's just with the little minions that do nothing. He says he was once lost and beaten down, but rose up, and he wants them to stand tall with him and constantly corrects them. He's like, don't call me the Exalted One. Call me Mr. Brody Lee, taking another shot at Vince with his Mr. McMahon gimmick. And he scares him off and explains that there should be no yawning or tiredness because it's a form of weakness. And then we see them yawning and like, oh, I don't care about you. And then he's like, don't you ever yawn in my presence. Get the hell out of here. And he basically kicks the minion out. So that was it. So it was pretty funny. So I give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. So we'll continue to see the growth of Brody Lee. I mean, we saw him in a match last week with QT Marshall, and he basically killed him. And we're going to see more of the Dark Order in the next coming weeks. And that's all I got to say about that. Now we move on. All right, then we get to our next match. Dustin Rhodes, and speaking of that guy named QT Marshall, they team up against 2 minions of the Dark Order. I don't know who they are. I think they're number 8 and number 9 of the Dark Order. I don't know. There's like so many minions, we don't know who they are. Probably some indie guys. We don't from QT Marshall's gym or something. I don't know. So it's an okay match. It wasn't great. We have Brandy at ringside as always, looking hot. So also a QT. Basically, this match was like a squash match, but they got a little bit of control over QT Marshall in the middle of the match. But Marshall fights back, hits a suplex, tags in Dustin Rhodes. Goes nuts, hitting some clotheslines, and then his patented bulldog. Then he goes vintage Dustin Rhodes and hits a snap slam. And then he falls with a cannonball to the floor. And then QT Marshall, not to be outdone, hits a dive to the outside. And then they go back in. They hit a double team flapjack to finish it off. Kind of a lame finisher, but it is what it is. So they get the win, and they could be a prominent tag team in the tag team division coming up. Maybe getting a tag team title shot down the line. I don't know, but or put over the tag team champions, or put over another up and coming AEW tag team. But we'll see what happens with that. Revival. Sorry, I have this mega cold. I don't know what it is. It might be the coronavirus. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going off and saying something. I don't know. So they pick up the win. Match I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Brody Lee arrives on the in the aisleway. He has a face-off with Dustin, so that might lead to something. Who knows? He then walks off and starts beating the living crap out of these minions. He basically kills this one guy with a vicious power bomb, and then the other guy's like, "I'm out of here." That's it. So Brody Lee was not a happy camper, and rightfully so. So it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with Brody Lee and the minions and the rest of the Dark Order as we go into the next coming weeks, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. All right, after that, we get to your segment of the night, and just like last week with Jericho and Matt Hardy going back and forth with elite, and Vanguard 1 appearing, and Jericho saying, "You're a piece of shit, Vanguard 1." That was pretty funny. We got a video package of Chris Jericho at his Jericho compound in his hot tub drinking a little bit of the bubbly. He says today's a holiday, April Fool's Day, and he's never met bigger fools than the Elite. He tells Nick Jackson to stay at home. And then we see Vanguard 1 hovering around the Jericho estate. Then he runs down Matt Hardy, and then Vanguard 1 drops down to meet him. Jericho does a promo on Vanguard 1 and kind of teases, apologizing to him for last week. He's like, "I'm sorry, I called you a piece of shit, blah, 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 blah." And we see Jericho's wearing leather pants in his hot tub, and then he gets out of it. He's still wearing the leather pants, which I thought was pretty funny. So he offers Vanguard 1 an Inner Circle t-shirt, a little one, like a little baby one. So he puts it on Vanguard 1, and he's still talking to Vanguard 1. He's like, "So what do you say? Do you want to be in the Inner Circle?" And Vanguard 1 just quickly disappears and runs away. And Jericho's like, "Release the hounds!" and then we see these dogs come out. Yeah, like a Pomeranian and like a beagle, like a golden retriever. Not like you see Dobermans coming out or anything like that. It was kind of funny. And they all chase after Vanguard 1, who flies away into the distance. So that was pretty funny. He continues the Jericho, the Inner Circle Elite storyline and the Matt Hardy Jericho storyline. We're just going to continue on. He also said that when this fucking virus ends, he's going to bring people back to the arena. So that little ban on having people not be in the arena is going to be lifted pretty soon, hopefully by June or July. And because right now, Double or Nothing's probably not going to happen, which sucks. So they'll probably, if this thing ends and people can go back to the arenas and stuff, probably the next event we'll see is All Out 3 in late August, early September. But then again, they could do Double or Nothing later, but we'll see what happens with that. So pretty good promo from Jericho and company and Vanguard 1. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And yeah, we'll see what happens next week on the program with all this. And that's all I got to say about that. Excuse me. All right, then we get another hype segment of the title tournament, which begins next week with I think Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara going at it. And I don't know about the other match happening, which I believe is Cody and Shawn Spears. I think it's next week as well, but we'll see what happens with that. All right, after that, we get an update on Nick Jackson. He's hanging out with his brother Matt in Rancho Cucamonga, California, where they live. And they have a little ring set up somewhere. I don't know where it is. Maybe a Matt's compound or Nick's compound. So Matt wants to make sure that Nick has no ring rust. And he talks about Nick's injury and how scared he was, seeing the ambulance go off. Didn't know what his brother's condition was. Nick says he feels good and doesn't even remember the attack or what happened that night. So he doesn't know who did it. It could have been the Inner Circle. Signs maybe point to that guy named Adam Page. He's still going with that. So you never know. It could have been the Inner Circle. It could have been Adam Page. Could have been the guy in the 15th row in the empty arena. I don't know. So they work out in the ring with a couple of their friends, I guess. And Nick wants to come back, but isn't sure when he can. He says you can't take life for granted. He talks about his family and his newborn daughter. So congratulations to Nick and his wife and family. He also says he's not quite. Matt's like, when you going to come back? And Nick's like, I'm not ready. Are you ready to come back? And Nick's like, no, not yet. So probably in another couple of weeks, we'll see Nick Jackson back in the ring with his brother Matt as the Bucks come back to TV and into some matches. Or maybe on Dark, who knows. But we'll see what happens with that. So a pretty good segment. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens with Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson as we roll on in the next couple of weeks. And that's pretty much it. All right, excuse me. And then we get to the main event. Tag team matches, Sammy Guevara and Shawn Spears, the two guys going in the title tournament. And they take on their respective opponents, Cody and Darby Allin. This is not the first time that Cody and Darby tagged. They tagged against the Inner Circle, and let's see if Cody would face Darby, and Darby won the match, and they fought, and we all know what happened with that. So this match was pretty decent. It wasn't a great match. It was pretty decent for what it was. So also with Cody and Shawn Spears kind of reliving their Fight for the Fallen match back about a year or so ago. They get really aggressive as they go into the ropes. And then Shawn Spears starts getting control. Follows with some tackles. Cody cuts him off, tags in Darby Allin. They double team until Spears fires back, tags in Sammy Guevara. They go in and out to Vlog. And then he starts hitting on Brandy, and Brandy's not having it. And then Darby attacks on the floor, sending Spears into the barricade. And then Sean Spears cuts him off on the outside. They go back in. Darby takes control, tags back in Cody, and he goes berserk on both men. And then he teased suicide dives on the outside, and they hit him anyway. As we go to break, come back. Sammy and Sean get control. As always, the heels come back during the break. And Cody accidentally takes out Aubrey Edwards, the referee. Sammy works him over on the floor. They go back in. And then Sean Spears is in control. And then they have a little spot where they start gambling. Sammy offers Spears some money to hurt Darby. And then they wager over stalling suplexes, which was kind of dumb, but it was all right. But I was like, what are you doing this during the match? Come on now. So he tags in Sammy. Sammy stole all the money, by the way, because he's such a jerk. And then Darby comes back, tags in a hot Cody, who goes nuts on both men, hits the snap slam for a near fall. Then he locks in the sharpshooter on Sammy. Sean Spears makes the save. And then Cody locks in the figure four on Sean Spears. Sammy makes a save with a running shooting star press. Cody gets up, hits Crossroads. And then Sean Spears attacks, and then they all go into the crowd. And then Jimmy Havoc gets involved, attacks with a wrench. As we go to another break, come back. Sean Spears is in control of Cody, so Cody counts back, does some strikes. Fights off Sammy and falls with a moonsault press to Sean Spears. Gets the hot tag to Darby Allin, who goes nuts. Runs Spears into Sammy and falls with a suicide dive on the Sammy Guevara on the outside. Spears cuts him off and sends him into the barricade. And then Sammy falls with a creeping dropkick from the apron. Then all four men are in the ring. Sean Spears hits a standing C4 or a standing Spanish fly, if you will, on Cody. And then Sammy and Sean Spears start beating down Cody. And then Darby gets on the top rope, hits the coffin drop off the pole, like he did in Evolve way back when. That was sick. If you haven't seen that, go YouTube it. And that's pretty much it. We go back in. Sammy tosses Allin into the barricade, which allows Cody to hit an inverted suplex, but Sean Spears hits a frog splash on Cody. And then Sammy gives Cody a chair, telling him to hit him with it. And then Darby Allin's like, no, you ain't going to do that. We're not going to get disqualified. And then Sammy does a 1925 schoolboy and cradles up Darby, and he pins him for saving Cody. So Sammy Guevara and Sean Spears get the win over Cody and Darby. Match was all right. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. So we'll see all four men in action next week in the tournament in the first round. See what happens with that and who moves on to the semifinals. After the match, Darby was visibly upset. Cody's trying to tell him it's okay. Tries to reason with him and stuff. And Darby's like, get the fuck away from me. Hits him right in the chest with a forearm. Lays Cody out. And that's basically it. So maybe a little tension between Cody and Darby. Darby's trying to fight off the inner circle by himself. Not working, really. I mean, he did beat Sammy Guevara at Revolution. And trying to take out the inner circle one by one. But I don't know. Maybe he's starting to, he doesn't want anybody's help. He just wants to do it by himself. He's a loner. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Darby. I don't think it's going to play any part to him and Cody having a third match, but who knows at this point what's going to happen with that. So that's pretty much it. So like I said, I gave the match 3.25 out of 5 stars. That was that. So another good episode of AEW Dynamite is in the books. My final rating is 7 out of 10 stars. Wasn't bad. So we'll see how the how the ratings play out tomorrow. It should be out by tomorrow or Friday, so hopefully it'll be out tomorrow, so I can give you when I do my NXT review tomorrow, I can tell you what the ratings were. So I'll do that tomorrow, sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and I'll do my NXT, like I said, my NXT review. Then I'll do my WrestleMania predictions for night 1 and 2. So basically, I'll just list all. I'll go down through every match on the card. I think it's 16 matches. I think something like that, 14 to 16 matches. Crazy. That thing have eight on Saturday, 8 on Sunday with a start time of 7:00. So I'm going to do, and I'll give you my thoughts and hopefully my thoughts and reviews on Sunday, depending on if I work Monday morning, which I probably will. So we'll see what happens with that. So should be a good weekend. If you like taped stuff, but they tape this about a week or so in advance with multiple finishes. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no spoilers, which the WWE didn't want. But we're going to see it for ourselves, and it should be a good WrestleMania. It's not going to be it's going to be probably the worst WrestleMania in history. That's what I think. No crowd, which sucks because of this fucking virus. And most of the matches could have used the crowd, like Cody, like Agent Orton, Taker, AJ. My girlfriend's up. So, are you eating?
I'm drinking water.
No, she's drinking some water. All right, so that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens with WrestleMania this weekend, and me and Rose will probably watch WrestleMania because we got nothing else to do besides watch Fox News and boring as fuck Netflix. What are you gonna do? So that's it for my review. Thank you for watching, and once again, 7 out of 10 stars for AEW. It was a pretty decent show. So we'll see what happens as we start the TNT tournament next week, and other stuff that happens as well next week on the program. And that's it. So thank you for watching this program. Watch my Raw review on my Killer Demons channel. Link is in the description box. Continue to like this video, subscribe to this channel and all my other channels as well, which are in the description box. Continue to follow me on Twitter at my Twitter link, which is in the description box below as well. You can send me your questions and comments and all that other good stuff. And that's pretty much all I got to say. So I'm going to finish up and maybe have a late night snack or a drink. And then I'm going to hit the head. Hit the head. I'm going to go to bed. And that's all I got to say about that. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with my NXT review, my WrestleMania predictions on TGC 164. And that's all I got to say about that. So thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace, bitches.